Hey everyone, slightly controversial topic today. We have talked about 2G and 3G sunset or shutdown earlier, but would non-standalone 5G undergo sunset? So that is the topic to be discussed today. So let's discuss. Hopefully you are aware of different 5G network architecture options that we have discussed in many different videos. If not, check out our tutorial. You should have a link on the top right. Option 1 is the 4G LTE networks deployed today. So you can do a carrier aggregation in LTE of different carriers, and this way you can improve your speeds. Now nearly all the commercial 5G networks today are the 5G non-standalone or NSA networks. Now we have discussed this in many different videos and many times before. We have also said that ideally you need spectrum in all three different layers: the coverage layer, which is the sub 1 GHz, the capacity layer, which is between 1 and 7.125 GHz, and finally in the high throughput layer, which is about 24.25 GHz and is also generally known as the millimeter wave spectrum. The most popular bands are shown here. We have explained this 5G spectrum in one of our tutorials before. So with 5G NSA option 3, also known as ENDC, you have carrier aggregation of 4G spectrum and carrier aggregation of 5G spectrum, and with dual connectivity you can now combine 4G and 5G speeds. So this is as shown here. Initially, when many operators don't have a lot of 5G spectrum, they are actually relying on the 4G spectrum for getting higher 5G speeds. So this is the power of non-standalone 5G today. Surely you have heard that many operators are now considering moving to standalone or SA 5G. In this case, due to 5G core availability, many of the advanced 5G features like network slicing, ultra reliability, low latency, etc., they will all become possible. So operators really want to move to option 2, standalone 5G networks. So the challenge here is that there is no 5G spectrum to provide the base speeds. So if the operator doesn't have a lot of 5G spectrum, then this will cause issues due to speeds that are lower than the 5G non-standalone. So here are some observations and analysis. Most operators believe that they will run both the non-standalone 5G deployed today along with the standalone 5G. Many of the early and cheap 5G devices only support the NSA 5G and cannot be software upgraded to standalone 5G. So with option 3 and option 2 existing along with LTE, the architecture will look something like this here, as shown here. SK Telecom has talked about the converged core that they refer to as the 5G core. Now this consists of the evolved EPC as well as the next generation core. This would ensure that the devices can use the same G Node B or the new radio for NSA as well as SA operation. And of course, there are other options like the option 4, 5 and 7 on the table as well. I have said in the past that there is not a lot of interest in these options from the industry, vendors and even most operators. Some operators like Deutsche Telekom though are very keen to have option 4, and they have a point. Now, this is from one of the webinars earlier this year. The reference is available in the slides that you can download from our SlideShare channel. As you can see, Deutsche Telekom are keen to evolve to option 4 after option 2 has been deployed and the 5G core has been sufficiently tested. They even call option 4 as standalone because 5G knee radio is the master. The reason they want to go to option 4 based architecture is solely because they want to have the benefits of 5G core and the speeds of 5G option 3 NSA available today. So there are already two alternatives that can be used along with option 2 today as shown here. One is to use dynamic spectrum sharing or DSS, but it has its own issues, including that it's not very efficient and reduces the overall throughput. The other alternative is to fall back to NSA when no 5G core services are needed. Again, this is like a workaround rather than a proper solution. So it has its own set of issues as actually shown on this slide. So this has got me thinking about the long-term future for 5G NSA. Would it make sense to sunset NSA 5G once the standalone 5G is stable and extensively tested? So as 5G NSA relies on 4G, it is rolling out slowly and steadily across the networks globally. An operator can easily claim that they have launched 5G, but the 5G coverage is very small. But of course, it's surely growing. In the next few years, we can expect 5G to cover majority of the dense and high traffic areas. So what would happen if 5G NSA is switched off and only 5G SA or option 2 is left in the network? Devices supporting 5G NSA only will fall back to 4G with no 5G. Of course, this is based on the assumption that operators will provide at least 2-3 years leeway after the 5G standalone devices are available. In the meantime, with the usual device upgrade cycles, 5G NSA only devices would be limited. Some users would of course be unhappy with no 5G on their devices and would actually upgrade to newer devices. Even if they don't, they would still get reasonable 4G speeds. Operators can also refarm some 4G spectrum to 5G in addition to DSS, thereby improving the 5G standalone speeds to as good as 5G NSA today. So my belief is that this would be the best way forward to keep things simple in the future network architecture. 5G specifications continue to evolve and many of the new features and enhancements are being designed with 5G core in mind. So there is no point in continuing to drag the development down with continuing to support non-standalone 5G networks in the future. So some related posts that you can read once you have the slides. So this was a short video about my belief that 5G NSA will have to undergo sunset sooner or later. So you let us know what is your opinion and what you think. So I'm keen to learn based on your experience and opinions. There is no right or wrong here. In the end, it will depend on whatever direction the industry decides is the best way forward. So thank you and look forward to speaking with you again.